MASH, believe it or not, is a comfort show for me because it takes me back to being a child. Like, I remember falling asleep. Like, if I wasn't feeling well, if I had a bad dream, my parents were up watching TV. That's back when houses only had one TV.
No.
Because, this is in the 70s. That's how old I am. So I got great. But 70s, early 80s. But my parents used to watch MASH when it would come on. And just even the theme song will kind of lull me off into a sleep. So I would come out there and, lay with my parents, and they watch MASH, and I fall asleep. I wake up and, all safe in my bed. And so I'll put on MASH now, and I swear to you don't know how to play the theme song, do you?
I do not.
Oh, that would be great if you did. But,
Here's the fun thing about the MASH theme song, though. It's
Yep.
called Suicide is Painless.
Yes.
And that's just, I don't know why, but that's like it's one of the most recognizable theme songs.
The movie MASH, which had a completely different cast, the song was actually sang.
Oh,
But
really?
yes,
Okay.
but when they made it for television, they thought that the lyrics were too controversial,
No, probably.
and so that's why I still always remember seeing that scene where in the first couple of seasons it was I can't remember who's the colonel in the first couple of seasons. I can't even remember now
I don't know.
because by the time I was old enough to pay attention, it was Colonel Potter, and you'd see him you'd see like the back of his head, or maybe it's the back of Radar O'Reilly's head. I don't know. But you see the chopper coming in, and Alan Alda would come running. And it's such corny television now if you watch it. But the humor was actually really good. It was good timing. And it was actually an anti-war show, which people,
Yeah.
you don't realize till you watch it. I mean, all of it was about how bad they hated being there. And even though the show is about the Korean War, it was a metaphor for how people were feeling about the Vietnam War. A lot of people don't realize. But you put that show on, and by the time the theme song is over, I'm already passed out in bed sometimes, but I'll put it on. Then I'll wake up, and I can't sleep, and I'll put another one on, and I'll fall back asleep again. That's one of my comfort shows. Comfort movie, Tombstone. You ever seen Tombstone?
I might have seen Tombstone.
And maybe I'm twisted, but Goodfellas.
Goodfellas used to be one of
I don't know how anybody can fall into a comfortable sleep with all that kill. For me, it's just it's a fun movie to fall asleep to. All right, what do you got for us next?
Oh, I got. Let me see.
I thought you
Well, I could. This is another new one of mine. It's called Humpty Dumpty.
Humpty Dumpty.
Been knocked down more times than I can in my own eyes. But as broken as I may seem, I'm still just a man with a dream. But as broken as I may seem, I'm still just a man with a dream. Well, I woke up to laughter, born asleep, drowning in tears. The other side of my bed has been a revolving door for years. But as broken, I'm still just a man with a dream. Oh, as lonely as I may seem, I'm still just a man with a dream. 'Cause it's all that I've got. 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 Yeah, as broken as I may seem, I'm still just a man with a dream. Oh, as broken as I may seem, I'm still just a man with a dream. All right. You know what? It's funny. I honestly, for many, many years, I hated this next song, this next cover I'm about to do, because my brother all the time. But here we go. I would have given you all of my heart, but there's someone who's torn it apart, and she said that I have. But if you want, I'll try to love again. I'll try to love again, but I know the first cut is the deepest. Baby, I know the first cut is the deepest. 'Cause when it comes to being lucky, she's cursed. When it I still want you by my side, if just to help me dry the tears that I cry. And I'm sure gonna give you a try, 'cause if you want, I'll try to love again. I'll try to love again, but I know the first cut is the deepest. Baby, I know the first cut is the deepest. 'Cause when it comes to being lucky, she's cursed. When it comes to loving me, she's worse. I still want you by my side, if just to help me dry the tears that I cry. And I'm sure gonna give you a try, 'cause if you love again, I'll try to love again, but I know the first cut is the deepest. Baby, I know the first cut is the deepest. 'Cause when it comes to being lucky, she's cursed. When it comes to loving me, she's worse. But when it comes, that's how I know the first cut is the deepest. The first cut is the deepest.
Woo! So did you hate the song because it was a Rod Stewart song?
I've heard all different versions. So
Who's-
Rod Stewart does it, Cat Stevens I think does it.
Cat Stevens, I love.
Does it?
Sheryl Crow, I like.
So
Cat
can
Stevens, I
normally-
love.
Cat Stevens all the way for me.
Absolutely.
But it's funny because I can tell at a show what age group I'm dealing with based on
How they're singing it back.
who they think I'm doing at that point. Like,
Right.
Like, oh, he's doing Cat Stevens. I'm like, okay, all right.
You got some other Cat Stevens you do?
I don't any that I remember.
That's surprising to me because that seems like that'd be your jam. Like Cat Stevens kind of
So,
suits your style.
We've talked about how I used to drink all the time.
Yeah.
There are so many songs. Ages in my memory at this point. So there are songs I know I played before that I just nothing.
Really?
Here, let's see
What a to do to die today.
I'll do Ohio.
Ohio sounds good. I like this one. I like this one a lot. Matter of fact, I don't know if you know this, but we played this last Sunday on Get Real with Ralph because we didn't have a musical guest for the first time ever, and so you made the cut, and we played both Marie and Ohio. But I really like this one a lot.
I'll play Marie next. For anybody that doesn't know what this song's about, when I was young, my grandparents on my mother's side moved away to Ohio. We'd still see them maybe once a year for Christmas and things like that. Very well at all. And then when I was in college, they died. And I was left to think, how do you grieve somebody that you never really knew? And my solution was, well, I'll write a song about it. So here goes Ohio. Well, I remember standing at the edge of the road, wondering if you'd ever come home. When are you coming home? So I sat and stared out at the fields. There no love that would probably never heal the crowd. Just make my heart all the bright city lights scares me half to death every night. Every night. And I miss you smelling June, out your home lying sweet perfume, sweet perfume. Oh, Ohio, when can I come home? Where I'm buried two by two in your cold stone. When can I come home? Oh, sweet memories of places and people out. Never again. Sweet lost memories. Why won't you please come back to me? Why'd you ever leave? Well, I guess I'm just too young to see that you're always with me. Well, I guess I'm just too blind to see that you're always, always, always with me. Church, they told us we'd be fine as long as we pray till our dying time, till our dying time. And they said wouldn't really die when we grew old. He just reached out and he'd carry us home. He just carry us home. But I don't know if I still believe. I don't think he'll come back for me. Won't come back for me. Waiting outside heaven's door. They'll say, sorry son, we can't take it anymore. Can't take it anymore. Oh, Ohio, shore. Always, always, always with me. Well, I guess I'm just too blind to see that you're always, always with me. Well, I guess I'm just too young to see that you're always, always, always with me.
Love that one. Love that one. And I love the story behind it. And my third son, who is 18, because that's what he called it when he was a kid. My wife's from Ohio, and my wife and I met when my oldest three boys were 3, 2, and 1, and we would go back and forth to visit her family in Ohio. And to this day, when I hear the word Ohio, I think Ohio. No reference to anybody from that great state, of course. But there's something about going there that is.
They lived in Fostoria, Ohio, which is, I don't remember the size of it. I think it's a decent sized town, or maybe it's smaller. But it's one of those towns. It was an ancestral home, so a lot of my family stems back to or landed or settled in Ohio shortly after the Revolutionary War.
No kidding.
Yeah, my ancestors were German Hessians that fought against the colonists in the Revolutionary War.
So then they were banished to Ohio?
No, they loved that. They went back and they brought their family.
So what part of Ohio is that?
Ooh. I don't know where it is in relation to say, but it's about a 6-hour drive from here.
About 6-hour drive. Gotcha. Is it like hilly there? Is it flat?
It's
Did you go to Cedar Point? Did you ever go to Cedar Point as a kid?
Go to Cedar Point.
All right.
See, I was sitting here trying to think of the best way to nicely phrase the views from Ohio. Yeah, Cedar Point's pretty good.
If I'm a good boy, my wife takes me to Cedar Point once in a while, if you know what I mean. But
I used to go as a kid.
Yeah, sometimes you got to wait in line for a long time to get on those rides.
Yeah. No, I remember Cedar Point fondly and also in an angry way, because when I was a kid I was scared a lot because I was the youngest child and my brothers were kind of dicks. So my oldest brother, being the biggest dick to young me, was at Cedar Point. So at the time there was a roller coaster called Mean Streak.
It's still there.
It was the fastest roller coaster at the time, and I was small, but just I could get on the ride because I was tall enough. But my brother saw that I was nervous, and he was like, Daniel, roller coasters have slow buttons. So if you get too scared, you press this button that's in like the roller coaster car, and it slows down, so you don't even have to worry about it. So he says this. He's like building it up where it drops on Mean Streak, and I look around, and I realize, no, he just lied to me. And then I look at him, and he's smiling really big, and then we both just start screaming, and it went off. That's my very vivid memory of Cedar Point.
So there is no slow button.
There is no slow button
on the Mean Streak.
I also think that's the first time I called my brother a dick. So.
How old were you? 9? Did you get any fist fights with your brothers growing up?
Yeah, we got into fights, which is pretty normal. The stranger thing is how we used to make up is that we'd all be mad at each other, like in our rooms, and to make peace, one of us would eventually just open their bedroom door and yell out like, "Does anybody want to order a pizza?" And then we just angrily kind of sit and eat pizza together, just like.
Of course, food always heals all wounds. So my youngest and my oldest 3 was there, and they were a year apart. And I mean, they would agitate him, and he had a war cry like you would not believe. He's 18 now, and if you knew I was talking about him on Facebook, first of all, he doesn't go on Facebook because 18-year-olds think Facebook is for old people, so I don't have to worry about that. But if he happens to see it on YouTube or somebody shares it on TikTok or Snapchat or any of those other young people things, and he happens to see, it's going to be horrified that I'm telling this story. But he could never get even with his brothers because they're both bigger than him and top. And one day, my wife and I are in our bedroom, and they were in like a baby pool in the backyard, but they're like 10, 9, and like 7 years old, just messing around. And all of a sudden I heard them say, hey, let's see who can hold their breath the longest, because we had the window open, we're paying attention. And all of a sudden I don't hear anything except water dripping. And I look outside, and there are my 2 oldest boys holding their breath underwater, seeing who could hold their breath the longest. And there's the oldest standing there with his pecker out, pissing on their heads before they came up.
See, that would have been a fist fight.
That sounds like something you would see in like a movie from back in the day, like A Christmas Story Part 6, Easter, or 4th of July, or something. I don't know.
Or American Pie, actually.
American Pie. But brothers can. I didn't have any brothers growing up, but brothers can be pretty damn mean to each other.
Oh, yeah.
You got kind of a devilish grin on your face. I know you're thinking of all kinds of lyrics.
It's not that I don't like my brothers. I love my brothers. It's just they don't inspire me to write music right now. I can write about our family when we were younger and our childhood home, but it's like my brother in New York City or anything like that. It's like, well, maybe
You got a brother in New York City right now?
I do.
Are you worried?
No, I've been in communication with him. I think he's pretty much self-isolating with his wife, my sister-in-law, at their apartment.
Nieces, nephews?
Oh, no,
No.
don't have any of those.
Gotcha. So, Marie, is that what you're going to do next? All right.
Someone who loved me once during a time where it was especially hard to. To get back your lost time you spent on the company line. Most days can't even think while your fingers just bleed ink. Thought you escaped the big city lights, trade them in for the mountains in the moonlight.